Hi everyone and Happy New Year. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas if you celebrated and a good New Year if you celebrated. I do hope that 2016 wasn't too bad for you. I know that everyone said that 2016 is the worst year that's ever happened. 2016 was awful, everyone couldn't wait for it to finish, but I really hope that 2016 was good for you. I hope that lots of good stuff came out of it for you and that it wasn't too terrible. I personally don't think it was the worst year. We lost a lot of people, but I don't think that's going to stop. I don't know what's in store. I mean, the stars that I look up to, the stars that a lot of us have grown up with, they are, you know, getting older and they are getting towards the end of their life, unfortunately. So people in my life that I know, my family, my relatives, they are going to start dying. So it's not something that can necessarily be avoided, and it's not something that necessarily makes a year awful. That's my personal view. It is horrible. Death is not nice, but it is unfortunately a natural part of life, and you know, good things come out of the bad. You know, one door closes, another door opens. Not all the time, sometimes a door closes and another one doesn't open for a long time, but that is my view. So I don't think that necessarily 2017 is going to be massively different. In fact, I think there are going to be harder times coming up. It is what we make of it, regardless of how many people we lose this year and, you know, what devastating stuff happens. It's about, you know, you might end up getting proposed to, or you might have your first child, or, you know, achieve something really great. So bad stuff can happen, but really good stuff can come out of it. I know that some people had the best year of their life last year, so I'm trying to remain positive about it, and that's just generally my stance on it. I really hope that you have a really good New Year. But I just wanted to make a little video about 2017 and just New Year's in general, and mostly I just want to talk about New Year's resolutions. The reason why I want to talk about New Year's resolutions is because, well, I really wanted to make a video about this last year, but I don't know, I wanted to talk about it, but I guess I wasn't motivated enough to talk about it, and I think maybe there were other videos at the time or other things happening, so I just didn't. And I was, you know, upset kind of that I'd missed out on that opportunity. So what I wanted to talk about is just addressing the kind of negativity that surrounds New Year's resolutions. And it's basically just this whole attitude that New Year, New Me is bullshit. You're still going to be the same person. And while that may be true, while that person that you know might be setting goals to lose weight or to stop swearing or to stop drinking, and you might think, ha, you set that goal last year and it didn't happen. Doesn't matter, but just personally I just think keep that to yourself, because it doesn't matter. They are setting a goal to better themselves. They are setting a goal. If they achieve it, then great for them. If they don't, so what? It doesn't really affect you. I don't really see the point of being negative. It doesn't bring you any happiness. It doesn't make your life, oh great, you know, now that I've sort of rained on their parade and rained on their chances and made them feel a bit awful about what they're trying to do or trying to achieve, I feel great. I feel, you know, really happy with myself. I just don't kind of see what it achieves. If it makes you feel happy and you feel really clever to take that stance and to tell people that, then great. But maybe you just keep that to yourself. I don't think it achieves anything. And you might say, well, okay, neither does setting New Year's resolutions, but okay, at least they are trying. At least they are trying to set goals and trying to look to the future. They might be things that are born of, you know, sometimes I know people set goals when they're drunk, for example, and they say, oh, I'm going to do this, and it's like, well, okay, why did I set that goal? It's not achievable. But I just don't think that there's ever any good reason to sort of rain on someone's parade or ideas or what they're striving for. Even if it's a goal that's literally come out of nowhere and you think, why are you all of a sudden wanting to do that? Like, that's not you, or that's not achievable. Just root for them and just be like, oh, okay, cool, good luck. You know, you can just be nice to people. Whatever happened to that whole thing of, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. If you really have to, write your feelings on a piece of paper. You could just write it on a piece of paper and shove it up your ass. Or you could just write it on a piece of paper, rip that piece of paper up, or burn it or something, and then boom, you've got it out there, you have released it, and no one is affected by it. I have seen it coming from a lot of people that think they're clever by saying it for some reason. Great, you're not setting a resolution, great for you. But maybe you should be. Maybe you should be setting a resolution to you know, not look down at people or not judge people. Just a thought. I'm not saying that resolutions are great things. Yes, a lot of them, people start out, even me, especially me in fact, set out with these ideas at the start of the year, things are going to be different, that you're going to change. I personally set out a lot of times with the resolution that I will lose weight, or that I will stop swearing or something. Some of it is a bit of fun, you know, how long can you go without drinking? How long can you go without swearing? Can you manage at least a day? And sometimes it's funny, it's like, oh, here I am, like day 1 of January, and it's like, oh, broken my New Year's resolution. And that's okay. If you break them, you break them. I get the whole idea that people set them and they break them and that's kind of the joke. I guess that is because they are, in a way, made to be broken. It's kind of that attitude, I guess. It's like diets. You say you're going to go on a diet, and because you're referring to it as a diet, it's kind of got that stigma, that kind of, not stigma, but that, you know, it's a word that's like made to be broken. You know that you're going to break it. Whereas changing the word to lifestyle change or health kick or something else helps you stick on it. And I can't quote where I've read this from, but I have read about how just changing words of what you say can really affect about how long you can stick to something or commit to something. There's definitely lots to be said about just changing words to be positive, changing your sort of mindset. When you go on a diet, you don't call it a diet because you think, well, diets are going to be broken. That is definitely my opinion of diets. I don't call them diets because also one thing is that diet refers to what you eat in general. So calling it a diet anyway is kind of flawed. You think about 30-day diets and stuff, and you think about going on one for a short term, and it's just like they're kind of made to be broken. That's just kind of like how resolutions work. There's already that attitude that they're made to be broken, so a lot of them do get broken. I'm very much of that kind of resolution party, where I like to call them goals instead, but I still don't have any problem with calling them resolutions. I prefer to call them goals just because, unless there's something that I think about very fleeting, something maybe less important, I would set as a resolution. Personally for me, just because there's less kind of consequence if it's broken, I don't feel too bad, because I can feel quite bad if I don't stick to things, if I break things. That's sort of when I set New Year's resolutions. But I try to set goals, things that I wanted to set, you know, I wanted to do in general for my life. Things that I want right now, but because it's a new year, I'm just deciding to set it as a goal for the year. For example, losing weight and becoming healthier and being healthier. That is something that I want, you know, throughout my life. That is something that I will, if I don't achieve it this year, I will want it next year. And it's something that I realise that I'm going to have to achieve throughout years. Even if I lose a lot of weight this year, I'm still not going to be in the peak of my health and like physical fitness. I'm still going to have to work on it for years afterwards. For the year, it is something that I would like to change. It is something that I would like to focus on. And it doesn't mean that by 2018 I'm going to have achieved it, because a lot of things can change that and a lot of things can factor that. But if I set out in the right attitude and the right mindset, it's more positive and hopeful that I can achieve it and I don't just throw it away. On the other hand, I know that some people really like using the word New Year's resolution and they prefer it to goals or target or whatever. Some people really like setting New Year's resolutions and it really works for them. And, you know, whatever works for you, do that. As I both love and hate saying, you do you. I personally see setting New Year's resolutions and setting goals and things you want to achieve, it's all positive. Even if it only lasts for a month, even if you only manage to lose some weight in the first month of the year and then you go back to it the rest of the year, you have achieved something. Okay, you haven't stuck to it, but you've set out to do something good, and that is already quite positive for your brain. On the other hand, it can put your brain under pressure and it can put you under pressure, but you are setting out to do something good, and I think that can't be faulted, that has to be praised. And there's also nothing wrong with staying the same. There's also nothing wrong with not setting any goals. There's nothing wrong with just saying, you know what, I'm actually really happy with the way I am. I'm happy at my weight. I'm happy at college or work. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I don't really feel like I need to set any goals. That's fine. I personally feel that even if you're at that stage, it's good to set goals because you've got something to look forward to. Even if it's just like, I'm going to go on holiday this year. If you've got the money to do it, that might be something that's really easy, but it's still a goal and it's still something for you to look forward to. And during the winter months, start of the new year, it's I think it's one of the most depressing times of the year, because you've just had massive parties, Christmas, family get-togethers, maybe. And you've had all that build-up, and then afterwards there's just sort of nothing. There's Valentine's Day, but that isn't really a holiday, it's a day, and there's not that much build-up to it, and again, not everyone celebrates it. Depending where you are in the world, if you're in a cold part of the world, it can be miserable and it just adds to it. You get seasonal affective disorder and you can just feel quite low. So setting goals for the year and setting achievements and, you know, whatever, gives you something to look forward to. Struggling with anxiety and depression and stress, it gives you a light. So I think it's really positive, personally. I've talked about this with people before and they've seen no point in setting resolutions, which again is fine, but they've actually set themselves a goal, and when they've achieved it, they've realised, actually, I'm really happy I set that goal because I feel so good, and when I look back on the year, I can say I've achieved something, and you know, oh, that just feels really good. I've seen it. They've become a lot more kind of positive, and their outlook on life is a lot better. It can be really helpful to set goals, because if you didn't do it, you learn why you didn't do it. If you set yourself a goal to go on holiday and you didn't achieve it, oh well, I lost my job and you know, money was really tight, I had an accident I had to pay for, blah blah blah. But at least you can look back and go, well, what do I want to learn from that? What do I want to take forward into the next year? There was a lot of stuff. 2016 was not an easy year, but it's given me a lot to think about, and it's given me a lot to reflect on and go, okay, that wasn't successful, but why wasn't it successful, and what can you do to turn that around? 2017, I'm not setting out with the attitude that it's going to be my year, because every year can be my year. That is kind of the one thing that I think is flawed about, you know, the whole New Year's attitude, is that, oh, 2017 is going to be my year. Go out and try and make it your year. Do it, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with the positivity and believing that it will be your year. I want it to be your year. Personally, I just think that can happen anytime. In a way, I want all of them to be my years, but I'm just going to try and achieve as much as I can and just try and feel good. And if it's not my year, it's not my year, but what can I take forward from it? The problem I have mostly with the whole this is going to be my year is that, well, why do you only get 1 year? Why does this year have to be your year? Why can't you have multiple years that are fantastic? Don't just set out to have 2017 be your year. Set out to have them be all your years. Set out to make them fantastic if you can. They're not always going to be, because horrible things are going to happen in the world to you. That is life. So basically just be positive. Try not to rag on people who are trying, even if you think their goal is really silly and it's going to get broken. Just leave people to it. That's kind of what I want to say. I'm not trying to put anyone down for expressing their feelings. Everyone has their right to express their feelings, but sometimes we do have to look at the way that we express ourselves and the way that it might affect people. And sometimes expressing yourself doesn't mean you have to use a public space or social media. Sometimes it can just literally be, I'm going to write this down and I'm going to get it all out there. There's a lot of feelings I have that I just will write out, or, you know, think to myself or reflect on in myself. Not just, you know, okay, I do use social media and sometimes I have vented and, you know, I'm not perfect, but I am trying to, you know, think about what I write and think about what I say. And I have thought about what I've said in this video as well. This is, you know, like been a year coming. I've given this a lot of thought, reflecting on the past year and stuff, and seeing people's negativity and seeing how people have been hurt by it, and seeing how people have, you know, oh, okay, well, I'm not even gonna try then. And it's like, come on guys, just spread a bit more love. If anything we need in this year is more love. Going forward, the years are gonna be harder. That is just, you know, we've seen a rise in ISIS or IS, and I just don't think that things are going to necessarily get better with it. I live in hope and pray that they will, but I just don't think they will. I'm definitely going to be doing what I can to help things get better and hope that the future is brighter. It doesn't mean that I'm giving up and sitting back and going, right, well, 2017 is going to be crap and 2018 is going to be crap and we're all going to die next year. No, I just think that it doesn't mean that this year is going to be great for all of us. 2017 is going to be the best thing yet, but that also doesn't mean that great things can't happen for me and great things can't happen for you, you know, regardless. I know a lot of people feel really bad because they've had the best year of their life, and I think, oh, a lot of people have suffered and a lot of people have hated this year. Oh, I think that's great if people can have an amazing year despite the pain, despite the loss, despite the terror. So yeah, feel free to comment about your year, about 2016, about this year, what your hopes are, anything at all. And if you want to contact me in social media, talk to me further on there, then all my links will be below in the description box. Thank you for watching, thank you for hearing me out, and I hope 2017 is a really good year for you. I hope it's your year. Yeah, if you want to see more from me this year, please subscribe, please click the little bell icon so you get notified of my videos, if you so wish. I hope to see you next time. Take care, stay fabulous. Bye!